Hey everyone, I'm with Antonio Cecchi. He is the owner of Rose Hill Manor and Plain Manor in Leesburg, north of the historic town of Leesburg. And he just took me on an hour-and-a-half tour of the property. And I wanted him to share a little bit about the history of the property with you guys, as well as the stuff he's been doing here, because it's pretty fascinating.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction. So Raspberry Plain was originally founded in 1931, and over the years the property has been a horse farm, and then it was a dairy farm, and its final iteration was doing weddings and corporate events. And a few years back we took it over and we put it into our model and really sort of brought it back to life.
So we're going to show people some of the pictures that we took today. So we've got some shots of the big outdoor, well, it used to be an outdoor pavilion, but now it's enclosed. So that's where a lot of the ceremonies are performed, and people will have their dinners and dancing there.
Exactly. We had one of the previous owners had added an atrium to the side of the manor house, which used to be the patio, and then we've renovated that to really sort of bring it back with the addition of chandeliers and beautiful wood floors. And this is special because this manor house here was actually the birthplace of George Mason. Mm-hmm. The other significant part about this property is that in the corner of the property, once it was all divided out, we still remain with the original jail of Loudoun County. So the seat of Loudoun County, where the actual county was founded, sits on the property, and that's also been renovated. It's really exciting.
Right. So before we go to the jail, we're going to show some of the rooms that you renovated in the manor house, where a lot of people do their weddings. You have a groom's room. Mm-hmm. You have a guest room, and then you have a bridal suite.
A bridal suite, the bridal wing, which we've started doing in all of our facilities throughout Virginia. We've gone from a groom's room and a bridal room, or two VIP rooms, to actually having a groom's room, and then we have an actual wing with multiple rooms for the bride. It also lends itself to corporate events as well, but the brides really love having a makeup area, a photo shoot area, and then the beautiful bridal room with a stacked stone fireplace.
Yeah, I love the fireplace in there.
Really
it's
wonderful.
Gorgeous.
The other thing that I was going to mention that I'm very excited about, and has kind of been the evolution of my company, is that we were able to successfully take this historic property and put it under a perpetual conservation easement. Mm-hmm. So where we could have built a neighborhood with 38 homes on this property, and where there was interest in doing that from other parties, we came in, renovated it, made it viable, submitted it to the county, the state, the federal government, and had it accepted into a perpetual easement. So 50 acres in the heart of Leesburg, preserved in perpetuity, which is just fabulous.
It's great. It's beautiful, and the views from here are beautiful.
Yeah.
So from the main house, we took a tour today. We're going to show some pictures. So one of the places you mentioned was the jail, and you said that you talked to Loudoun County Sheriff. They will start doing some events there potentially.
Yes, they're very
right?
interested. It's sort of their birthplace, and it has a lot of significance for them. So once we have a few more little tweaks to do, but then we'll start using it for ceremonial type things, and maybe a pop-up or maybe an art show or something like that. So it's going to be really wonderful.
And then we're going to talk about two other properties that are in your conservation easement. The first is a guest house.
Yes.
It has 7 bedrooms with this house.
The guest house was built in 1760, and beautiful. It has a metal shingle roof, which is extremely rare. It's one of the few examples in the U.S. right now. And we were able to renovate it. It was a tenant house where the workers would come in seasonally. So it has 7 bedrooms. And now it's a house that we connect with the events. If someone's getting married at Rose Hill, or which is down the street, or at Raspberry, or at the barn, then they can also choose to add the guest house and have their friends and family stay overnight.
The last property that I want to talk about that is on this land is a barn called Hopkins Grove.
Yes.
And it's the worst kept secret because I'm spilling the beans here, but you really aren't heavily advertising it yet. I took my daughter through to see it today. She was really impressed. Tell everybody a little bit about the vibe and the intent you have behind renting out this space.
And the barn itself was built in 1916, and the barn also was preserved because it had a metal roof. It's a wonderful little barn, and we have sort of refurbished it and put a bunch of string lights and beautiful romantic touches. And now we're using it as an area for smaller events, very rustic, very original. It's not a recreated barn, it actually is the original barn. And it's just wonderful. My daughter had her graduation party there.
High school
graduation, had a wonderful, wonderful musician playing guitar and singing and just dancing under the stars, and they just had such a wonderful time. And the views from everywhere. In fact, the room that we're sitting in, I'm actually looking past the camera at Sugarloaf Mountain, and it seems like it's right here, but it's extremely far away. And from the barn, you have these just amazing views through the old barn doors. We did these floor-to-ceiling windows, and it's just really a magical space. A lot of times people will redo a barn or do something modern, and we felt that it was up to us to really preserve as much as possible of the original building, like we've done here in Raspberry Plain as well.
Yeah. Well, I love talking to you. I think you're a great owner and a great facilitator for historic properties. And of course, you're also a Wahoo, so
right.
I mean, I like to talk to anybody from UVA. So anyway, thank you for joining me today.
Very
And thanks
welcome.
for sharing your love of the property with everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.